3085, EW3085. That is the tag number of the blue Chevy driven by a brown-skinned Muslim with a beard. Wearing the glasses. A blue Chevy sedan. EW3085. Again, at Shepherd Street at the opposite end where Indacarseat DatGuY, Terry Dwayne-Ashford, started his day at 4:40 a.m. in the morning. He began rolling around the city in a blue Chevy, tag number EW3085, posing as Terry Dwayne-Ashford, the StreetNOW News, Indacarseat DatGuY. This guy began at Shepherd Street and Michigan Avenue, the opposite corner where Terry Dwayne-Ashford woke up and seemed to have started at the same hour. There appears to be two houses on the corner. The vehicle, blue Chevy sedan, is associated with one of the two houses on the corner of Michigan Avenue and Shepherd Avenue, or Shepherd Street, Northeast Washington, D.C. These are the same houses where the Caucasian Washington, D.C. police officer sat and waited when a blue SUV stalked Terry Dwayne-Ashford on the night when the black women rode through flashing lights. I'm Terry Dwayne-Ashford, starting for you at 4:40 a.m. in the morning. It began as soon as we woke up. We believe this is the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police, headed by the black women. That is what we believe. We don't know yet, but we will once we continue to investigate. Terry Dwayne-Ashford. StreetNOW News Journalist-in-Chief Terry Dwayne-Ashford believe the man driving the blue vehicle, EW3085, will pose to have an affiliation with one of the houses on the block at the opposite end where Terry Dwayne-Ashford woke up. Something is going on with those two houses right there on the block, who is framing or being framed by something. Now, let me tell you what else that we think here. We think that the man in the blue vehicle, EW3085, will pose to have an affiliation with the house. The reason why is because he arrived at the house at the waking call. He pretended to have walked to the house first to walk back to the car. Secondly, he doesn't live at the house. He does not live at that house. But he's posing to be affiliated. For StreetNOW News, I'm Terry Dwayne-Ashford. We're reporting this morning. We're reporting this morning, 4:05 a.m. on EW. Tag number EW3085. A DC tag, a blue Chevy, a brown-skinned male with a beard, wearing glasses like Terry Dwayne-Ashford, carrying things in his car, on the seats of his car, as the StreetNOW News chick probably would. We believe this is a crime that is in progress, to pose and fraud as anything other than who he is. For StreetNOW News, I'm Terry Dwayne-Ashford, reporting live for you. The man drove through the alleys and up the street. Around the corner, he's circling the area right now. StreetNOW News, I'm Terry Dwayne-Ashford. That time was before 5 a.m. in the morning on April 3rd, 2021, Saturday morning. We continue on with our reporting for today. I'm Terry Dwayne-Ashford, StreetNOW News, your journalist-in-chief broadcaster on Saturday morning. That this threat that we've just identified earlier this morning that was supposed to begin on April 3rd, the morning of April 3rd, Saturday morning, is associated with the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police officer, the black female police officer that met Indacarseat DatGuY, Terry Dwayne-Ashford, and even shined her light on Terry Dwayne-Ashford at the Tacoma Park Tennis Court during the broadcast on yesterday on April 2nd, 2021. That particular Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police officer, black female, African-American female, then followed Terry Dwayne-Ashford to the CVS and parked behind Terry Dwayne Ashford at the CVS, and then flashed her light on him there also. We believe that particular officer is associated with the officer the two officers in vehicle 9822 that's set at the other location, and then followed by officer 4022 in that particular vehicle.
Aw, you want me, says Terry Dwayne Ashford, StreetNOW News. Well, you can't have me. Why? Because you're participating in crimes, and we don't do that. Continue on with our reporting this morning.
What we are looking at here is we're looking at the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police officers. Is what we're looking at. And we're looking at the particular ones, 4022 in the vehicle that was driven by Officer Davis, obtained in a couple days at the CVS, and was sitting at the CVS, and that initiated, I believe, the crimes that are in play right now. From that 4022 Washington, D.C. Metropolitan vehicle, we have the police management from the black female at the Tacoma Park Tennis Court, and then from there, the CVS, and then from there, the location of Gallatin Street Northwest, where 9822 sat, and then came also 4022. We're connecting it all for you, sir. Terry Dwayne Ashford here, StreetNOW News.
4022 is the vehicle number, the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police SUV number that Officer Davis was driving when was identified at the CVS at the 6500 block of Georgia Avenue, carrying out what we thought was deceit. Mornings earlier, that particular report was done by StreetNOW News. Terry Dwayne Ashford. Also, we believe this particular crime, this particular morning, relating to the black female officer that occurred on April 2nd. We believe all that is connected. This morning, they were planning to sabotage, and we've caught him.
The crimes, I believe, will involve the vehicles associated with during the newspapers. We have a white...
We have another vehicle that followed us after that blue Chevy sedan tried to carry out its deceit. That particular vehicle was a white Yukon. That particular tag number on that Yukon was George Edwards 8607 DC tag. It was supposed to hook up with a blue hatchback vehicle in Washington, D.C. Here's that report.
The crimes, I believe, will involve the vehicles associated with during the newspapers. We have a big white vehicle, GE8607, a big white YMCA.
That is a DC tag, by the way.
Yukon, the GMC Yukon. We're here at the corner right now, and we're reporting for you at the corner of Upshur Street and 5th Street Northwest, standing.
We're going to replay that for you because we want to make sure that you get it. That particular tag number of that white Yukon was GE, as in General Electric, 8607 DC tag.
The crimes, I believe, will involve the vehicles associated with during the newspapers. We have a big white vehicle, GE8607, a big white GMC Yukon, the GMC Yukon. We're here at the corner right now, and we're reporting for you at the corner of Upshur Street and 5th Street Northwest, standing that particular white Yukon, waited for the small blue white, right here on the corner of 5th Street and Upshur Street 400 by following Indacarseat DatGuY, Terry Dwayne Ashford. And right now, the journalist is right there. StreetNOW News reporting for you.
The point that we are making here for you is that even as with badges, you don't have the right to run behind people and carry out crimes with the intention of carrying out that crime to either fame, for those crimes to be re-imaged as anyone else, and you definitely definitely don't have the right to run behind somebody harassing them thinking you're bad. That's totally inappropriate. And that's what this particular reporting is about. Now, in addition to the tag numbers that we're providing you here, we also have officers that was driving MPD vehicles 4022. That was Officer Davis. We had an officer, a black female officer, that occurred on April 2nd in vehicle P as in Paul 40, and we think that last number was 2. It could have been a 7, but it was a black American female on April 2nd at the Tacoma Park tennis court stalking. And then we have 2 stalking officers that showed up at the location of Gallatin Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. That particular tag number was vehicle number, MPD vehicle number, MPD associated vehicle number was 9822. That's 3 vehicles right there. That's not all of them. Now, we had some other vehicles to show up at the CVS location to investigate what was happening with the officer in vehicle 4022. And we're just making it clear to you that you don't have the right to run around and do what you thought you can do. You don't have the right, nor do you have the power. We're going to make sure that you understand that. We're going to carry on with this reporting this morning, Saturday morning, April 3rd. You're hearing from the voice of Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, StreetNOW News. We don't deal in crimes like that. And for you to want us dealing in crimes like that, you can't want us doing the things that you do. Moving on with our report for this morning, April 3rd.
And now for a mini closure this morning, April 3rd, 2021, Saturday morning, we have the exact same experiences that Wilma Greenwood-Ashford experienced with Ruth. We have a stalking Davis. This
you want us, huh?
Appears to
How do you
be
want us
part
like that?
of Officer Davis' scheme that we picked up from the CVS stalking.
You don't want us. You can't want us.
In the last week in Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Vehicle 4022. That particular Officer Davis appeared to have collaborated with black female officers within the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police. And those black female officers included the officer driving the P40 vehicle with another number on the end that I won't call right now. And here we have the scheme.
You can't want us. There's no way in this world that you can want us carrying out crimes like that. Carrying out crimes where an Officer Davis, another Davis. Yeah, no offense. I love Davises. And because your last name is Davis doesn't mean that I don't like you. But we've had some terrible experiences with the Davises frauding. And we have terrible experiences with the Davises moving from one area to another area, frauding. And that may be considered stalking. Now, that is what the experience is of an Ashford, okay, or the likes of an Ashford. We don't know what that means for you. We don't know what you call it, but we're telling you what we call it. We have a problem with that. You can't want us. When you run behind us doing what you're doing, you cannot want us carrying out the crimes that you're carrying out in the streets. As a StreetNOW News, for StreetNOW News reporting, we're not reporting in support of street crimes. We're reporting crimes from the streets. From the streets. Let's not get that twisted here. Now, we're going to give you a second part of this because we limited this particular reporting this morning for 15 minutes. We're going to have to go another 15 minutes for you, and we apologize for taking up too much of your time. But we do want to make sure that you get it. Yeah, we want to make sure that you get it. Now, if you don't know what get it means, well, you're going to know, and by the time we finish, you're going to get it. For StreetNOW News, I'm Terry-Dwayne-Ashford. We're going to close out with a little music here for you for the next 30 seconds, and then we're going to jump right back in with part 2 of this report this morning.